Agentic AI is right at the top of the generative AI hype cycle. Lots of hype, everyone's hearing about it. It's gonna solve all the problems of the world. It's gonna automate everything. And then we will all live a life of luxury in a world of abundance. Here's where we are for procurement. We are just at the innovation trigger. Now maybe we're a tiny bit further. This published out in June and AI moves fast, but we're still very early stages. So it's entirely possible for there to be an enormous amount of hype, but yet in the procurement world, we are just at the early foundational stages of what Agentic AI is going to do for us. When we look at the investment profile, right, we see over 60% of companies looking to make high or conservative investments, but the investments are being made. Right, at Gartner, 750% increase in Agentic AI calls from the second half of last year. Yeah, number one is, of course, cost, but number two is accelerating AI investment and deployment in their area. It's hard to do, and I would argue that in the procurement space, we have a bit of a shortcut because our vendors, such as Zycus here, are embedding that agentic and intelligent AI directly in the tools we're already using. And so that sort of solves the problem of how do I integrate this AI investment into the tech stack? It's already there. But a lot of times people say, I'm not even sure what an agent is. And we think of agentic AI as just this blob. And we know it automates some things. We know it probably has some intelligence, but in many cases, it sounds a lot like RPA. How is this different from just regular process automation tools that I already have? And why should I spend money on additional tools that essentially look to do the same thing? And so I like to bring this up and sort of make sure everyone's on the same page around, the key differences. Really, when we think about it, is RPA over here on the dark blue side is really around things that I know exactly how they work. I know the process, I know the steps involved, I know the decision points, and so they work that very well. I don't need that. Agents, on the other hand, are around automating things where the processes may be known, but everything is not known about it. So I don't know maybe all the exact decision points. The orchestrator agent is the one that's working and handing out work to those workers so that they can go and then comprehensively put everything together. Now, if we look at this use case, essentially this use case and these sub-agents here, if I could do all this, this is about 95% of what I would call autonomous sourcing. Standalone type of tools, they don't have all this set of capabilities. We saw that a bit with generative AI, is generative AI have access to Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever. What we heard from customers is this is sort of interesting, but it's not game-changing for us because it stood alone and it could only do a limited amount of things. It didn't have the capability to do lots of specialized tasks. Compared to when we start embedding that within our procurement software, now suddenly we can build up a full stack and we have additional context. This is something that does have a lot more meat on the bone there and a lot more capability. Right? We're not talking about sort of like when blockchain was hyped up a couple years ago. It's going to do all these magical things. That was really a technology looking for a problem. With this, we can actually solve problems.